Suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon leads brutal chase in San Fernando Valley. Los Angeles, an assault suspect led authorities on a chase and 2 standoffs with police. Police conducted several unsuccessful ditch maneuvers. The suspect ran several red lights and stop signs while attempting to evade police during the chase in the San Fernando Valley. The chase on Tuesday afternoon, March 4, 2025, included multiple start-stop incidents. The chase began around 2:30 p.m. in the Canoga Park area, and by 3:06 p.m., the suspect, in what appeared to be a gray Toyota Scion, was seen driving on freeways in a Reseda neighborhood. The driver's vehicle, which appeared to be a silver Kia Soul, Scion XP, or similar small SUV, was traveling slowly at times, while reaching speeds of 50 or 60 miles per hour at other points during the chase. Television networks broadcast the chase live as the suspect, allegedly armed with a knife, appeared to drive in circles on those highways, evading officers' attempts to conduct pit maneuvers.
Through that driver's side window, again, once they pull up behind him, he has shown signs of really stepping on that gas pedal. However, that vehicle is not extremely capable of very fast speeds, does not accelerate terribly fast, but certainly fast enough to exceed the speed limit and certainly fast enough to do some damage if anybody gets in the way of that vehicle. And as you mentioned, there are people out and about on this Tuesday afternoon, and you can see just the traffic here on these surface streets is proving to be an issue here. So he is continuing to find gaps. He's continuing to accelerate away from LAPD when they pull up right behind him, but then he manages to slow down once he puts a little bit of distance between them. At one point, he was really trying to squeeze through on some of the shoulders, going through traffic lights. So he is showing signs of aggressiveness. We certainly do not know what the actual mental capacity is, but we do know that they are suspecting DUI here as one of the charges. So again, doing about the speed limit, maybe a little bit above the speed limit, northbound on Winnetka Avenue here. He has done a complete loop here in this part of the valley. He started over in the Topanga division, which is where they started this pursuit, and now he's making his way all the way over here. He's now straddling that double yellow line, oncoming lanes of traffic here, looking for any opportunity to evade those units. Oh, close call, close call. That's right, the airship is continuing to track from above. They are now in tracking mode, as you mentioned. That just means those ground units are going to pull back. They're going to give him a little more breathing room. They have seen behavior behind the wheel that is a little too aggressive for their liking. Again, this all comes down to the decision of the supervisor and the watch commander back at base, who is watching this pursuit on television and talking to these units. You can see the airship still right overhead. Those black and whites are not too far behind. So even though they're putting less pressure on him, tracking mode still involves a lot of units and a lot of cooperation to triangulate and be in position if and when he comes to a stop or tries to bail. Maybe he will dump the vehicle and go running for it, or maybe he will give up peacefully. You never know. It always is a game of cat and mouse, and now, just like that, they have given the order to go ahead and re-engage. So just in the last 20 or 30 minutes, this has been in and out of tracking mode and pursuit mode several different times already, and now they are back in pursuit mode, and he certainly is showing signs of trying to desperately get away from those black and whites. Really, you can see that behavior. You can see it visually in the difference behind the way the vehicle's behaving. You can see the way he is behaving differently and starting to speed up once again. Yeah, this is the problem. Now, yeah, well, if there's any opportunity for a spike strip, they have already given the go-ahead for that spike attempt if they see it. However, the speeds here, look at him doing just a moment ago, about 70 miles per hour on Winnetka Avenue. Now he's slowing down. Here comes a possible pit attempt, but there is cross traffic here. There is oncoming traffic. This is not the best place for it, but there it goes. A live pit maneuver right there into oncoming lanes of traffic, a textbook pit maneuver with now the suspect and that unit face to face. All three units coming to a stop here, officers with their guns drawn and the driver popping that door open. Let's be very careful here with this shot. We are ready for anything, but if he pulls out any kind of a weapon, we will be zooming out very rapidly. You can see them pointing their guns at that driver, commanding him out of the vehicle after a textbook pit maneuver, activating that inertia switch, and flipping that car 180 degrees in the opposite direction, now ending up on the southbound side of Winnetka Avenue here in Chatsworth, where they are giving that driver very specific commands to stay a little bit closed in here as he tries to restart this vehicle. Again, not complying with.
At approximately 3:12 p.m., the suspect's vehicle stalled after a successful pit maneuver, and several patrol cars were seen surrounding the vehicle. The driver's door was open, but the suspect did not exit the vehicle. Although another pit maneuver in Chatsworth at 3:11 p.m. stopped the vehicle near Superior Avenue and Winnetka Avenue, it sped off again a few minutes later. At approximately 3:20 p.m., the driver sped off again and was seen driving slowly near Superior Avenue Elementary School in Chatsworth.
The intersection shut down. Rob, still not shut down. Look at this. They have not been able to shut down that intersection. This pursuit may be back on here in just a second. Unbelievable. All that time, I thought for sure they would have somebody in position by now, but look at that. Look at all the damage there that he created during the course of this pursuit on the right side of the vehicle. This is the first time we're seeing the right side of the vehicle. You can see the undercarriage damage there, possibly 2 flat tires as he continues this pursuit now on Superior Street after backing up, getting back in the vehicle, turning it back on, and now pulling it into reverse, and now the pursuit continues once again. A kind of an astonishing sight here after that aggressive and daring pit maneuver, guys. To see this pursuit continuing again is shocking. It's actually shocking, if you ask me. Yeah, he's definitely looks like he's got something in his hand. He appears to be alone in the vehicle. That 5-minute mark is going to come up many times in the after-action debrief of this pursuit. I can guarantee you that. There were 5 full minutes there where they tried to get the suspect out verbally without shutting down that intersection, which in most cases would have been shut down by now. But in any event, they can address that later. The pursuit is back on. We now have 5 black and whites in tow here as he continues this slow speed chase now in Chatsworth, pulling on to Maria Street and Casaba Avenue, just passing Casaba. As he goes over that speed bump at a snail's pace, he understands that the vehicle is not behaving well. Apparently 1 or 2 flat tires, and here comes a second pit attempt, a weak attempt at that. I don't know how he missed that. I don't know what's going on here, guys. This is very unusual to see LAPD in this position, but they have now swapped out primary units, a new unit taking over this pursuit as he continues at a snail's pace through this neighborhood here. Here comes pit attempt number 3. They are committed to getting this guy off the road. They have to now. There's no choice involved. They have to do it safely, though, and that is proving to be a challenge here with now going the wrong way. Now going the wrong way on Mason Avenue, pulling onto Mason Avenue over the median, and now on the correct side, here comes pit attempt number 3. Another pit attempt, a failed attempt at that, and the pursuit continues. This is wild. Every time. Absolutely. But every time they approach him, every time they spook him, whether it's a pit maneuver attempt or just pulling up behind him like this, even if he's not going to attempt the pit maneuver, they're increasing the adrenaline. Out of pursuit and tracking mode. We saw several pit maneuver attempts. We saw some very aggressive driving, very erratic driving, putting lots of lives in danger before ending up here in Chatsworth at Superior Street and Lurline Avenue, where he casually... World News. Driver standing up. Yep. Now showing signs of giving up here, still not raising his hands, but at least he's out of the vehicle. He's on both feet, looking inside the vehicle with his hands by his side. Unclear if there's a language barrier here or not, but they are talking to him, they are communicating with him, and they desperately want to see him put his hands in the air. They are by his side. He is said to be armed with a knife. That was preliminary information that they were working with during this pursuit. Now stepping away from the vehicle, hands on his head, and now it appears he is willing to surrender. Yeah, that's good news all around here. The suspect now proned out, and it does appear that they will be approaching him momentarily. He is crossing his legs, now following all the instructions, a sure sign that he is willing to give up. At this point, they're going to clear the vehicle, make sure there's nobody else in danger, make sure there's no other threat coming from that vehicle, and then they will take him into custody in a matter of seconds here after a tense ending to this dramatic pursuit. You mentioned it, slow speed at times, still reckless at other times, and we saw some daring moves by LAPD during this pursuit with those pit maneuvers in some pretty congested areas. So, each of these chases has their own uniqueness, and this one was no different.
About 5 minutes later, the suspect stopped the vehicle in the area of Plummer Avenue and Cassicroft Avenue. He was seen opening the driver's door and drinking from a water bottle, and at one point interacting with officers who were drawing their weapons. Shortly after 3:30 p.m., the suspect exited the vehicle and complied with officers' orders to lie on the ground while the vehicle was searched. A red object was found on the street next to the vehicle as evidence.